In last lecture we have studied testing of hypothesis and the steps involved in it. Today we are going to use these different tests for student t-test calculation. Before that, just go for the outline that what we have discussed in the last lecture. These are the different steps for the testing of a hypothesis, like laying down hypothesis, then the test statistic, level of significance, critical region or the rejection level, and finally making decision by computation. Before going to t-test or student t-test, just I want to discuss some things with you, that which test we can use for which type of data. If the data is quantitative, in the sense length of year or plant height or yield, where the samples are normally distributed in populations, then we can use these three tests, Z test, T test and the F test. But qualitative data, if they're in breeding experiment or the genetical analysis, most of the times the observations, they fall in a particular frequency class, and there we have to find out the deviation between observed and expected frequency. This is comes true for the monohybrid dihybrid ratio, where monohybrid ratio is 3:1, but whenever field condition is there, not the plants are observing exactly 3:1, they deviate from their mean value, and that we are going to find out with the help of deviation from the chi-square test. Okay, so this is explanation which type of data and which type of test we can use. Now we go in detail for the t-test. This is firstly given by the William Gosset in 1908 and useful for finding or the testing significance of difference between the means of two different samples of the same size, where the formula we are using, t, small t is there for the student t test distribution, and x bar, that is your mean, n your frequency or number of observations, and SD stands for standard deviation. Now let's go for two examples where we are with the unpaired and paired data. So here in spinach leaf protein content is given. This is unpaired data. So just we have to calculate what we need for its formula, that is x bar, mean. We are in need of that one. So what we have to do, just draw one table and afterwards compute the mean, that is x bar, from the all observations. Then the next column is x minus x bar, and the third, that is x minus x bar square. Now question comes in your mind, why these steps are needed. Okay, so as the formula is there, standard deviation we want, so you will get idea why we are using this one. Then the next, that is degree of freedom, and you know that what is degree of freedom, number of observations minus 1. So here 10 observations, so 10 minus 1, so degree of freedom is 9. Then next we have to calculate the standard deviation, again by using formula, and afterwards these value we have to put into the t test formula. So here x bar, that is your mean, square root of n, that is your number of observations, and standard deviation from the step 3. Okay, so by putting all these value, we will get this t test value from the formula. Then what we have to do, we have to compare this value with the tabular value. Then what is tabular value? There is a table to compare this value by using degree of freedom and level of significance. Remember that if there is no any specified alpha level is given or significance level is not given in your example, or they have not noted, then you have to use 0.05%. Okay, and from this sample, or for this sample, degree of freedom is 9 from the step 2, and t value is 4.03. Now I am going 2 to 3 slides forward so that you can get how this is t value we are getting from the table. So you can observe here the degree of freedom. So our degree of freedom is 9, and here you can observe the different significance level. So this is the 0.05 significance level. So this is value for the degree of freedom 9, and 0.05 significance level is 4.03. Now I am again going back to that slide so that you will get how we can use. Okay, so we'll get that 4.3 from the table. The next step, what we have to do, making decision. So what we have observed, your tabular value is 4.03 and calculated value is 11.82. So this is greater, calculated value 11.82 is greater than your table value, that is 4.03. Okay, so we can reject the null hypothesis that there is no difference between the means of protein content in spinach leaves. What is null hypothesis then? In null hypothesis, we are rejecting 99% and accepting only 1%. So we are in null hypothesis stated that there is no difference between means of the protein content in spinach leaves, and we also get the greater value of alpha level, that is 0.05%, and this value is greater than your calculated value. Okay, so this is the finalized decision for the unpaired data. Now let's go for the paired data. If paired data is given, for example here we are with the fresh weight and the dry weight of the wheat grains by giving the extract of Tridax. So few steps are different there. What we have to do first, difference, that is D, fresh minus dry weight. So we'll get this fourth column like this, and we have to do its a summation, column summation, that is summation of D, and the next column, that is a D square. Just square these all these value and make its sum. So we'll get this value. Next to this, again like the unpaired data, we have to calculate the degree of freedom. You are familiar with degree of freedom, n-1, then standard deviation. But here for paired data, formula varies. Okay, so by summation D square and summation D square bracket square divided by n minus 1, that is your degree of freedom. So you will get this value 4.11. From this you will get standard error, that is standard deviation divided by square root of n. So this value is 1.30. Just put this value in the formula. This value is differed from the unpaired data, summation of D divided by standard deviation. So summation of D from the last table, okay, summation of D is 3.9, and your standard deviation from the step 3, and that is 4.11. So we'll get the value 0.94. This is your calculated value. Again we have to compare this value with the tabular value, same as that unpaired data. Again the value degree of freedom 9 and not 5% significance level is the same that I have shown before this slide. Again we have observed here that calculated value is greater than your tabular value at alpha is equal to 0.05%. So we can reject the null hypothesis, as there is no significant difference between protein content in root and shoot length of the wheat grains. Again remember here, if there is no any specific alpha level, choose 0.05% significance level and put any type of a hypothesis, null hypothesis or the alternate hypothesis. Depending upon which hypothesis you are using, your results may get vary. Okay, this is student t-test where you can use the degree of freedom from this column and significance level on this column. Okay, so first column is for 0.05%, then again the increasing level for that. This is all about the t-test which we are using for the quantitative data. Thank you.